The European Parliament debates where Europe goes post-Brexit.
This time will create uncertainty, especially for our economy, and we have to try to limit this time period.
Parliament gives the final go-ahead for a European border and coast guard.
The purpose is to have better administration at our external border, to provide a better assistance to member countries in the need.
And approval of a report to fight tax avoidance.
There are issues which can be efficiently addressed in Europe only in a situation where we have a level playing field globally.
Hello and welcome to our roundup of the European Parliament's latest plenary session here in Strasbourg. We begin with Brexit and debate on the recent EU summit, the first since British voters chose to leave the European Union. After a dinner among the EU 28, where British Prime Minister David Cameron explained the result of the referendum, EU Council President Donald Tusk said the heads of state, minus Britain, agreed that a Brexit won't involve bending the rules for the UK.
We hope to have the UK as a close partner in the future. But leaders made it clear that access to the single market means acceptance of all four freedoms, including the freedom of movement. We will not sell off our freedoms, and there will be no single market à la carte.
European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker attacked pro-Brexit politicians as sad heroes without a plan. With British politics in disarray, the EU is waiting for the UK government to invoke Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty to put Brexit talks in motion.
I don't understand that the Brexit camp needs months before knowing what to do. I would have thought that they would have had a plan. Instead of developing a plan, they are leaving the boat.
EPP Group Chair Manfred noted the EU economy is at risk with a Brexit process that remains in limbo.
We have to try to limit this time period, so we need now a clear orientation from London what is going on, what are their ideas for the future of the partnership, and then we have to sit together and negotiate.
Next, MEPs have given the final go-ahead for a European border guard and coast guard. It comes after fast-track talks to clinch an agreement between the European Parliament, Council and Commission. It was a race against time to get a deal before summer break, to start putting in place a common EU border guard as soon as possible. The migrant crisis may have lessened somewhat, but it is far from over. The legislation approved by Parliament sets up a common border force, putting more muscle and staff into what had been called Frontex. The EPP Group's Artis Pabriks is Rapporteur of the legislation in Parliament.
The purpose is to have better administration at our external border, to provide a better assistance to member countries in the need, to assist refugees if they need real assistance in these countries, and to give more guarantees as far as the security to all European Union citizens.
Now a rapid reaction force of 1,500 officers can be mobilized within a week to face an emergency. The Guard coordinates efforts between EU member states on borders and at sea. On the so-called what-if clause, a compromise. That if a member state is unwilling to deal with a border emergency, the Council drew a red line around EU intervention. Instead, under the compromise, other member states would be able to impose temporary internal border controls, in effect ring-fencing an uncooperative member state.
In such occasion, really, Council can convene and decide for temporary reasons to reintroduce the border control with this country internally, because it has to defend also the interests of other citizens of the European Union.
The legislation also gives the new border guard the authority to assist in returning migrants not qualifying for asylum, though under the compromise it can't be involved in returns from third to fourth countries. Finally, the fight to make individuals and companies pay their fair share in taxes. Parliament approved a report calling for tougher enforcement and a global approach to closing loopholes. The report sums up the findings by a special tax committee that investigated the so-called LuxLeaks revelations, in which major companies avoided taxes by shifting revenue across borders. Danuta Hübner was the EPP Group's author of the report.
We very clearly see now that this issue must be handled through strong international cooperation, that we need global standards, that there are issues which can be efficiently addressed in Europe only in a situation where we have a level playing field globally.
The former EU Commissioner for Regional Policy says she hopes Brexit and the UK talk of slashing corporate taxes don't complicate the quest for fairer tax systems.
It's true that UK has not been among the most cooperative member states over the last years when we worked, especially, for example, on the common consolidated corporate tax base. I hope that UK, even if they leave the European Union, that they will stay as a partner for fair taxation, and they will stay also as a partner committed to OECD.
That common tax base is what the EPP group says is needed to fight tax avoidance, to harmonize what is taxed where. That's it for now from Strasbourg. Find out more about the activities of the largest political force in Parliament by checking eppgroup.eu. Until next time, thanks for watching.